use the chat room to drop a comment, or now we have some distractions. Turn off your microphone, please. Valentine, turn off your microphone. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Has problem. Yeah, Papa, I do.
Turn off your microphone.
So I can click on that. I just click it.
Turn off your microphone. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Yeah, Papa, I do.
Turn off your microphone.
I just click it.
Turn off your microphone. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Yeah, Papa, I do.
I'm just waiting for everything to be calm, then we start. Please turn off your microphone, everyone. Turn off your microphone, okay? So that you can hear us, okay? I'm just waiting for everything to be calm, then we start. Please turn off your microphone, everyone. Turn off your microphone, okay? So that. And I can hear myself. It's kind of echoing. What's going on? Why can I hear myself? Is it okay? Can you all hear me well? Everyone, turn off your microphone. So that. And I can hear myself. It's kind of echoing. What's going on? Why can I hear myself? Is it okay? Can you all hear me well? The UAE, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you. So we hope we all find value. Feel free. It's an interactive session in a way, in the sense that you drop any comments you may have in the comment section, in the chat section, and your questions. So I'm just going to go ahead right now and introduce our guest for today. So it's my pleasure to welcome Chika Okibo. Chika Okibo is our guest today. Chika, where is your face? Good, so we can see you right now.
Hi.
Good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chika.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell us just a little bit about Chika. Just a little bit, because if I start talking about her, we will not go today. So for what we all need to know, Chika is an entrepreneur with over 12 years experience. This 12 years spans across asset management, stock broking, financial data analysis. She's also a banker. She was a banker, spent like 6 years at the bank before she ventured into private business, okay? So she's the CEO of aquatafood.com. Aquata.com was originally an online foodstuff market that later pivoted to personal foodstuff shopping service, and then pivoted again to food processing company. So the flagship product for aquata.com is called Aquata Palm Fruit Paste. And it started, it's interesting to know that this business started with just 2 buckets of palm fruit paste. And I will start earning a steady 6-figure income to the founder. She has won grants and business grants and competitions such as Startup Nigeria 2019, First Back First Jam competition 2019, and also the 2020 Tony Alumelu Entrepreneurship Support Grant, which is currently ongoing, but they have been accepted into the program. Interestingly, again, she is an author of the book titled How to Turn Your Product Idea into a Successful Business. I'm sure with all of this, you can agree with me that I think we have the right person to do justice to this topic today. So you're welcome to Grow with Gain today, Chika.
Thank you so much, Chinwe. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Good. So please, everyone, keep your mics muted. I can see Abdul Hakim, your mic is still on and is interfering. Please keep your mic muted. Good. So the topic today on today's Grow with Gain session is how to find a viable business idea. But before we delve into that proper, I want to tell us a little bit about Grand Africa Initiative so you understand why we're doing this kind of program and the other programs we do. So Grand Africa Initiative is a pan-African non-governmental organization. And our mission is to help youth, African youth especially, to develop and unleash their potentials, unique ideas, talents, and abilities to succeed in education, employment, entrepreneurship, and innovation. So we do these through a unique strategy we call gather, empower, mentor, and monitor strategy. Okay. So simply put, our program seeks to ignite the positive energy of the greater segment of Africa's population, the youth. Okay. So we do all we do through training, empowerment, advocacy, opportunity creation and dissemination, and partnerships. Okay. So, and this is today's program, Grow with Gain, is one of our programs. Okay. So Grow with Gain is a monthly program where we bring people, experienced people in different fields to discuss with us, have an interactive session with us, answer our questions to help us grow. So that is why we call it Grow with Gain. But remember, you cannot grow if you don't act on what you learn, okay? And you cannot grow if you, okay? So we want to grow with you. We want you to grow with us, but you need to. So today's topic, how to find a viable business idea. Our guest again is Chika Okibo. I've introduced her. And so we're going to delve right into the questions. While I ask these questions, if you have any question, please drop in the comment section. I'll get to it. Drop the questions as they come. Don't wait till the end because this is 1 hour. So if we exceed that, if your questions come later, we may not take them. So drop the questions as they come along. Okay. So mine is just to guide the conversation. So thank you everyone for yourself beyond what I have said.
Okay, well, you basically touched everything. Like Chinwe said, I'm an entrepreneur. That is what I do as of the moment. I'm an author. My work experience spans through, I think it's been 12 years. Banking, asset management, stockbroking, data analysis, sales, business development. But I like to talk about myself as an entrepreneur and a startup fanatic. I like everything startups because I get very excited about the possibilities, the potentials of what can be achieved, especially by people if they open their mind to the possibility of starting something on their own instead of waiting for handouts or getting employment, considering how our economy is today. So I think that basically touches on who Chika is.
Good. Good. Thank you. So you were a banker, you had a corporate life going on. So I started wondering what pushed you? Why did you venture into becoming an entrepreneur from banking and all the corporate experience you had? And I know you're an economist. I mean, so you had it going on well for you. So why did you venture into becoming an entrepreneur, knowing the uncertainties that could come with that?
Okay, well, starting off my career after school, it was all about the money. I'm not going to pretend about it. It was about where's the next pay going to come from. And I went after that. Got the first job, did that. When another pay, a higher pay came in from a financial data house, I went on to that one. And then the banking job then was like most viable. I based in Enugu. So around here, the highest paying thing then was banking. And I had my eyes there. I was lucky enough to get into one of the best brands, Guaranty Trust Bank. And it was it for me then. I mean, I had arrived. My salary was good. You dress well and all that. It was fulfilling. But towards the end, I wanted more. I'm not going to pretend about it. It's not now. The idea, what I'm trying to emphasize here is that I didn't move into businesses because I was hungry. It was a desire that covered a whole lot of things. I would, in my experiences, I would see private companies. Okay, I was in marketing in GT Bank for a while. So the the best part of my job was when I had to discuss maybe loan facility with a company, and we are looking at the angles of what they are doing, strategizing what they could do better to make sure that They can access the loans, they can pay it back. Even schools, little small schools, private schools, they were coming up. I mean, looking at what they are doing, piloting their own affairs, looking at young people betting their own ideas, it was very attractive to me. I wanted that. I wanted to be I wanted to to build my own legacy, something I would be proud of. I would have to have my ideas out there, watch something grow from. And then there's a system as well. Working in a bank, you do not control your growth. You do not control your even the salary, the increase in your payments. You don't control it. And it got to a point, the economy was so bad that promotions and the pay weren't coming because of performance. It comes based on what the bank for yourself. And then you think about, okay, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, where will I actually be? And what I was seeing was not it. I needed to have something steady. And then again, so I started thinking, actively thinking on what idea, what business can I actually start? What can I do? And it was it took a while. It took say it's about 6 months or thereabout. I kept pondering and looking at the ideas available. And just one day, there's a problem we used to have. I think they still what not I think they still have the problem now. The working hours are long and tedious. One of the problems we usually have is shopping for groceries and foodstuff. And it gets so bad that we pay the cleaners, the cleaning staff to help us go to markets. You bribe them sometimes because they weren't supposed to leave the office to help you. And I told one day it just struck me, you can actually make a business out of this. Recruit some people or have a website that people around you, we start with Enugu, could actually just shop online and have it delivered. And I make a fee from it and pay these people. And as far as I was concerned, that was my aha moment. What I'm going to do. I mean, this is it. It's a big one. I started speaking to an IT guy. He now told me that what I'm talking about actually exists in Lagos and Abuja. That is not it's not a new thing in Nigeria. He showed me some websites that do such things, and it was all good. I had money then, so we built the websites, everything, launched the business, resigned the job, faced it fully, and we went into it. And it was all good at some point, but now you've seen my experience. Nothing in my experience prepared me for entrepreneurship, and that type of business is not what you do with with little capital. It's actually capital intensive. It's it required a whole lot. The team, you need to have a team, and everybody. I didn't start well. I didn't know better. I didn't know it. So we had rocky years and all that. And eventually, I found out that my target market weren't ready to go online and be shopping, clicking for pepper and crayfish and all that. They would rather call me on phone or send us their list via WhatsApp or text message. Chika, we want this. So the website became redundant at some point. We had to now move it to shopping service. Person, now just send us your list, no problem. We would go and shop. We even put a link where you could type the list online. They still didn't want to follow that route. So from doing that, now the shopping now, I had staff working with me. You now find out that people's preferences when it comes to some items vary and are very peculiar. It's not first, it's not everybody that is open to having some things bought for them. So the long and short of it is that the labor we put in and the success, the ratio of the labor to the success of the business, it wasn't equal. We did more than we got in return. Marketing, selling the idea, because it was a new idea in Enugu then, it was a whole lot of things. But in the process of that, we were also helping people because we are targeting the workers, the busy people. They will also ask you, can you help us prep some of this food stuff? Can you help us cut this one? Can you help us grind this one? Can you help us make out? So we were already doing food processing for them. And it now struck me that I can actually, some of the products we are doing, we can actually have it for sale, commercialize it. Some of the products we were preparing for people, and that's where the idea for the palm fruit paste came. I started looking for, okay, which of this is actually would actually make the greatest impact, that will come out most innovative, very different, that will have a high demand, well received by people. And I checked, I really did my research this time around, found out that there's a gap, a very huge gap in the market for this. We didn't have it in Nigeria. The ones we had were imported from Ghana. They were canned. People were skeptical about the content. They say it tasted different. They're not sure the content. It had preservatives. So I was convinced that there's a market here. And then I went into it. I didn't have much then, like when I was the banker starting the online foodstuff market. So I just started. This time I did it right. Started gradual. Some people got their feedback, modified it a bit, asked questions about how much would you pay for this, observed their reception to the price and the product, took feedbacks from them. Okay, what would you have us do better? Now, if you notice where we started, even our packaging has evolved to where it is today. I saw the challenges, those who wanted to travel with it, the plastics. No, well, I think I'm giving too many details, but basically that's how we got to where our water palm fruit paste is today as a business.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. So you actually give quite a whole lot of information, really. So that's like answering my next few questions. But one thing that I picked out from
Oh
here
my
is
goodness.
this. You can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Hello, Chime.
Okay, great. Okay, so one thing I picked up from this is the idea you started with. Oh, yes, I can hear you. What's going on? Please mute your mic, Elite Bookshop or something. Please mute your mic, mute your mic. Everyone mute your mic, mute your mic. Elite BK84, mute your mic. All right, good. Okay, good. Sorry about that. So from the story you've just told us, like walking us through your journey so far, one thing I'm saying is that what you started with, I mean, you saw a business, what looked like a business idea that will work because you were a banker and your experience. So that was you trying to solve a point for you and your colleagues at that time. That was how you started that was what led to the e-commerce platform. A couple of distractions. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
A
we
lot of
can
people
hear
are
you.
muting
Yes,
themselves.
I
What's
can
going
hear
on?
you.
Bang, Rick, please mute
Yeah.
yourself. Okay, great. Great. Bang, please mute your mic. Your mic is always on. Mute your mic. Okay, great. Okay, so from what you've said so far, the idea you started with, the idea you had about opening. Did someone say you can hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, wave your hand. Can you hear me? Wave your hand. Oh my goodness. Okay, you can hear me. All right then. Okay, great. Okay, so from what you started with, which was e-commerce website, by the time you hit the market, by the time you met, I mean, you encountered your potential customers, it dawned on you that maybe the aha moment you had was going to be short-lived, right? Unmute yourself, Chika. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, you're muted.
Sorry. Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So the interesting thing is that you were able to, I mean, think about, you were not fixated, so to speak, on the initial idea you had that you thought was going to change the world, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I had to
So,
move with the
so that was
trend.
why you were able to, so basically you had to move in line with what your customers or your potential customers wanted, what the market presented to you. You had to adapt, right?
Yes, yes.
So that was actually what I was going to ask you, which was how did you come about the Aquata food idea, the whole process, and walking us through your entrepreneurship journey. So you've started that story, but you have not finished it. Walking us through your entrepreneurship journey. When you started, where you stopped is like where you have you pivoted to a food processing idea,
Yes.
right? So, but then tell us, so how did the Aquata food come about as it is right now? Because you said food processing, like some people wanted their pepper or some other thing, some other way. So at what point did you think that Aquata food paste or the whole idea, the whole processing, the way you do it now, at what point did you think that it was possible? Was it from your customers' feedback or was it another idea you came up with on your own?
Okay, no, it was more from, okay, it was an idea I came up with but on my own, but it was, how do I put, the route to coming to that idea came from what the customer requesting for. You see people that ask you, can you find it for us? The cocoyam, you can do that. So see the feasibility of commercial. Can I actually commercialize the palm fruit paste for a customer? I mean, I wasn't going to accept to do that. But I started thinking not that we can actually commercialize, you know, you can scale it up to whatever level you want to go to. And I started thinking, and palm fruit paste snacking, because it's one of the things that some of the dishes people avoid cooking because they don't want to go through the strenuous extraction process. I was thinking of which food prepping processes are actually the most tedious, you know. So which one can we, out of the options that came up, which one can we commercialize successfully and make money from, and then has, you know, is scalable and we can take as far as possible. That was it.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So you consider scalability, you consider market acceptability, so to speak. So, but let me ask you again, at the time you started this e-commerce website, e-commerce site, were there other competing ideas in your head at that time? Or was it just that, was that the only idea you came up with? Or even when you started, were there other ideas that you wanted to try? Or was it just, were you just like fixed on that one and you run with it? Were there other ideas? Did you find yourself having to pick and choose between competing ideas?
Okay, you're talking about from the very beginning, when we did the e-commerce website.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Did you have other business
Okay, yeah,
ideas? Because you said you were, this whole idea came from you observing customers. Did you have other ideas before you settled for that?
observing customers. You know, no, the e-commerce idea came when I was still a banker and I was consciously thinking about a business to start, right? The other, there were options then, start a school, there were other businesses that I actually considered then, but none of them stuck until I found one that could actually solve a pain point I was having and I knew my colleagues were having. at that point in time. But for the palm fruit paste, there were, as even at that stage, there were other options. Like I mentioned, some of the food that people wanted us to help them prep before, so that when they are home, everything should be ready to enter the pots, ready to cook and all that. There were other options, but I had to now narrow it down. I by then I'd gained some experience. I knew that this entrepreneurship thing is not, you have an idea, you run into it, you start. So I had to put some of the ideas through some tests and stages. I'm guessing we might have to come to that later, or before I would get carried away again talking. So there were options.
Mm-hmm.
I considered them, weighed them, and settled on the palm fruit paste.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So the palm fruit paste you are doing right now, which is what our quarter food is basically known for, will you walk us now through the process, the real nitty-gritty, to come into it, to where it is right now, the process of betting the idea eventually? Okay. What did you do along the line, from the conception to, yeah?
Okay. Well, if I'm talking now, I will be talking. I'll be talking in clear terms. I'm not going to say that at that stage they were as clear as this, but probably writing that book I told you about made everything come into. One of the first thing was clarity. You have an idea, but is it clear? Can you be able to define that your idea for somebody to understand? Maybe an investor or somebody wanted to talk to. You want to solve a problem. Clarity. How can you how can you give birth to this idea? I don't know. I'm trying to find a good example to use, but maybe I'll come back to it later. Another thing is utilitarian. You have a business idea, you have a target customer, a target market in mind, and you have to be able to link that your idea to a particular problem or need that these people have, right? And utilitarian in the sense that, yes, they have that problem, but will they see your solution as a solution to their problem? Is there a match? Would they link it to the problem that they are having? Another one is scalability. Like with the e-commerce business, one of the challenges I had was, now we started in Enugu. If I wanted to do this, number one is it has to be within Enugu. And if the ratio of people, the proportion of people out of Enugu who wanted this is limited, it means my income can only be limited to these people. And scaling it to another state, is it the option of franchise, or would I have enough resources and capital to be able to duplicate what we are doing in Enugu in other states? Or can I float something as high as Jumia, but for foodstuff? And then it wasn't clear. What we were doing wasn't scalable. There were perishables involved. There were logistics issues and all that. The cost of it and the mode of operation, it wasn't going to work for that one. And then sustainable demand. Okay, sustainable demand in the sense, the need you want to solve, is it a temporal one? I'm using the shopping service, and for me, what I was checking at, I noticed that they had this demand when they are busy, or they had an event on Saturday, or the house help wasn't around, they needed your service. But when they're on leave, or when they have somebody who could do that, somebody came visiting, or something happened, they didn't need you. So it became periodic. It wasn't steady. What they wanted this week is not what they want next week. So it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't a steady thing for us. Another thing is, okay, this one is in addition when people want to patronize you. Are they doing it out of a necessity? I've learned that going with a necessity pays better than a choice product. Like this is for product now, or even the service. What is a choice? What somebody does when they feel like it is different than what somebody would do or spend on that is a vital necessity to them or their family. So these were the things I looked at, and we now settled on the products we are working with now.
Fantastic. So the things that you've seen, you looked at your clarity. So you gained clarity. You needed to be able to communicate your business idea, whether to investors or even to potential customers, because you may have a fantastic idea in your head, but if you're unable to communicate that, your idea will die with you. Just like someone who wants to write an exam, you might know all the answers, but if you don't put it down in clear terms, the way that your teacher or your lecturer will understand, then you're going to fail the course. So clarity is very important when you're having a business idea. So if, of course, when you're starting, I imagine that it might be vague in your head, just when you're just thinking about them, like, ideas popping up here and there. They may be vague. It's okay at the beginning, but you now need to do all you need, all possible, whatever you need, research, market research, potential customers, to gain clarity, because the more you speak to them, the more you try to refine the idea, and then it boosts your confidence to be able to communicate what it is, because what you're trying to do may not actually be what you're such an expert in at the beginning, but expertise is what you can develop over time. So clarity is one, utilitarian is two. Do people want what you want to offer? You might sit in your house and think it's a fantastic idea you're coming on board with, but does the market want it? Are there people who think that they need what you're offering? What that word need? Do they need it? So that's what she meant by saying utilitarian. Do they need it? Is it something of choice or necessity? Is it something they can do without, or is it something they need to actually live? So she said that necessity, should I say, if your product serves a necessity, then you're likely gonna stay in business. That is not to say that luxury products or some other product out of want does not, but just in case you're starting, you know where to put your money for sustainability until you're able to have enough money to keep in the one that will come with maybe seasons and all of that, right? And then the other one is scalability. The business you think is moving within your neighborhood, can you take it beyond your neighborhood? Can it go beyond your neighborhood? Can someone in another city use that same product or your service? So these are because if you want to grow, if you're making 10,000 naira today or 10,000, whatever your currency is, and you're looking at growing, scaling this business, being able to make 100,000, 1 million in the years to come, or in the months to come. These are all part of what you have to build into your whatever idea you have today. How scalable is it? Is it something that you can expand quickly? Is it something you can find partners in some other places to scale the business? Or is this something you can, there are the options. These are all part of what you need to check. But now, coming back to you, Chika, I want to ask you, this process you've just mapped out, of course, it sounds all clear and straight to the point and easy. How did you come about all of this? Did you find yourself, did you participate in any entrepreneurship program, or how did you come about developing this? Because you said at the time you started, you didn't, your skills or your background did not prepare you for entrepreneurship. So by the time you started venturing into this, did you have to take any course or program or to develop this? Are you with us? Did you get my question?
Okay. At that stage, okay, what I did is, they say that internet or social media, if you use it properly. Yes, I think I did. It was cracking, but I think I got what you're saying. How did I now, without the robust knowledge that I claim now, how was I able to kick it off, right?
Yes, yes.
Hello, Chuma.
Yes, yes.
Can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can hear you well.
Okay. Okay. So what I did was I was learning online a lot. Now, they say if you use social media properly, it's not really for fun. It's a very good business platform. For instance, now when I started thinking about the form the product was going to come in, I don't know if you know Bube's Food, she commercialized
Yes,
pap.
yes. Yes, I
Now
know
I
her.
came across I came across the lady, and I am an addict, as in I started following her seriously. I started listening to her stories of how she did it, what she did, and I learned a lot from that. And when I could save up to, I think the cost was 30 something thousand naira, first she had this book that she put out of how she did it. I bought the book for 3,500. I paid for it. When I was able to have extra money for her course, I bought it. How to start a guide for startups. So I learned a lot, and then sales techniques, what to do. There are good, um, some pros there online, free information. You just maybe you type on Google, how do I do this? Where do I source for this? Or what form? I I took advantage of a whole lot of free stuff. And most of these mentors and coaches, they usually give freebies before they sell you the product. So I was one of those who took a whole lot of freebies. I might not buy the product, but I will grab onto the lead, the one they gave for free, absorb everything I could from it, and try to practice it. It really helped me a lot. So that was where I learned some of the things that I put in place that helped me to start well.
Okay, great. So did you participate also in any formal, maybe like incubation program or business courses like that, like where you met other entrepreneurs in the course of doing all of this? Did you?
Yes, this was at the stage when I started applying for grants, when I learned about grants and how they can help me achieve more. I started the application. Some of them would put you through some online or some questions. I learned what they are looking for, what they want to hear. My first one was Startup Nigeria. I learned a whole lot from that one. And then with what I learned from that one, it helped me do better in the next in the next grant. I had to, okay, like at the end of that one, what the biggest challenge we had was our packaging. So by the time I saw the limit it took me because of our packaging, the first thing I did with the funds we get was to improve on our packaging. So that as at the next one that I now went to, I was better. We actually came first. That would be first gem, first banks. This thing. We actually came first position because we knew what they were looking for. Our pitch deck, everything. We came like we are like
Okay,
pros. We've been doing this for
okay,
years. We are,
okay, okay.
basically
I
that
get that.
helps. Yes.
I get that. I get that. I don't want to delve into that right now because I want to ask you a question that's going to lead you into giving us further detail in that. So I know one major problem a lot of businesses have, or business young startups have in betting their business ideas will always be, okay, a lot of people will say is funding. Why haven't you started? Is funding. Show me what you're talking about. It's funding, lack of funding. We don't have funding. Da, da, da. So how did you even how did you cope with that? Did you have all the funding you needed at the beginning? If not, how did you start? Because I think some
Oh
funding will
no.
require. Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't have all the funding. We sincerely, today now they say, tell me your story. Let's see how you got there. I wasn't as in it's not fabrication that we started with 2 paint buckets of palm fruits, 1,600. I won't forget that. But the thing is, I believed in the potential this thing had. And I knew that if I stick to it, eventually it will pay. Funding, I will do that. Now, after processing that and selling it, I made like profit of, I think it was 500 naira, because I printed a label. I bought the first, we were using plastic plates then, 500 naira, and I put it into that. Now, what helped in funding is at this stage, right? You've not developed your products. It's difficult for you to sell it to outsiders, and especially if you're working on something new or innovative. Family, friends, your own personal savings is, for me, that was what worked. But you've developed the product, you've seen people's feedback. There's this thing they call minimum viable product process. You've done that. You are sure about market reception to this thing. You will now be you have more confidence in telling people. I mean, no matter how little the traction of what you've done, you will now use that to tell maybe the next family member you want to meet, look, see, I did this. Look at the feedback. I mean, I just put in 5,000 naira into this and I made 8,000 naira. Imagine if I could put 10,000 naira. Imagine if I could put 100,000 naira into this. This will be the return. I won't be asking you for money again for this. I'll be able to take care of some of the things by myself. And and the beauty about business or products, consumer packaged goods, is when you scale up, economies of scale comes in. You start making more profit margin because you're working on a higher scale. But you have to stay the course to get to that level. And now a very beautiful opportunities that has become available these days is grants. Grants. I'm not saying not loans yet, not equity funding, but the free ones, grants. It, there are many grants out there. Opportunities are there. And I always encourage people, just try, apply first. Whether you get in or not, what do you have to lose by applying for it? Give it your best shot. There are steps. I don't, but probably your platform, Chinwe, can I'm sure you can tutor people on this or guide them on it. Steps you can take when applying for a grant as a startup, and you will be able, you will get in. You will be able to. If you didn't get this one, you will get the next one. But it has methods. There are pointers, things that they look out for. And as long as you are serious about what you are doing, you're going to put the grants to that use, you will be able to bring out, highlight these pointers that they want to see. It's a very good opportunity that I advise everybody and anybody to take advantage of.
Yeah, interesting. And that's a follow-up to that. I think you got better. You got better at applying for these opportunities, because the first one you did, you were not that good, but somehow you got in. But then you got onto the program, the mentorship program, which helped you to fine-tune your presentation, how to present your idea, how to package your product,
my proposition.
Your yes, of course, your
yes,
exactly.
Yes.
So that helped you to understand your market better, to understand your product better, to communicate with more clarity.
To be specific, Chinwe,
yes. Go ahead.
Okay, to be specific, the pitch deck that they actually taught us, the first grant I got was Startup Nigeria. The pitch deck, the presentation coaching that we got was what I now took to Lagos. Imagine me in front of First Bank Chairman Awosika, and I was on the stage there, and I was at the end of my presentation, I had people asking me to give them a copy of my presentation, my PowerPoint. And when they were saying the reason why our company, Aquata Foods, came first, clarity of papers, traction, clarity of what you want to use the funds. I mean, these were things that I didn't know, I didn't have until I started, until I went through the startup Nigerian process. I didn't have that. So I had tried twice in. I mean, they said we're in the disruptor phase. We are disruptors. And I was feeling funky with myself, Tony Elumelu is not easy. I mean, from 54 countries, but based on the trainings and the experience from the two other previous processes, it was easy for us to now get in. Like I said, I tried 2 times, 2 previous years, but we didn't make it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So for funding, there are so many opportunities out there, but it's for those who take the time to look at the requirements to apply, look at how to prepare the ideas so that to convince whomever that is shortlisting applications. And then when you get in, even if you do not get the cash, at least get the training. It will only prepare you better for the next opportunity. It will prepare you to compete better in the next opportunity. That's what I see here. So for those that will complain that funding is the problem, just know, first of all, before you start applying for any funding and increase your chance of getting funding, grants, whatever, because there's so many of them happening these days. So many organizations, so many banks, so many foundations have one grant or fund or the other to support entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs especially. And some of them not particular, they're not particular about age. So they're just for entrepreneurs, startups, no matter your age. But the problem is a lot of people sit at home with just their business idea, which they have not even tried. They've not spoken to any potential customer about it. They have not even try to see if anybody will even be interested in staking their money for that business idea. So they have not even bootstrapped. There's something called bootstrapping. Yeah, that's you trying to use your own money as a founder, use your own money to actually come up with a sample of that thing you're talking about. Because if you cannot even put your own money in your business, how do you expect someone somewhere to invest money in you? How do you expect somebody who has put up some grants to give it to you because you came and you were telling them this is a fantastic idea? No. If you want to increase your chance of getting funding for your business, for any competition, please try bootstrapping, which means investing your own money or your own family or friends' money to come up with a sample. If you're telling us that your company is making a phone, that this phone is going to do ABC, it will make more sense if you come up with something that looks like a phone and you're not telling us that if you touch here, it will do this, and that kind of thing. So we can imagine it, we can put the picture in perspective, like we can be in the same space with you. That way you get a feedback whether the potential customer is likely to buy it or whether is not likely to buy it, or whether the investor or the grant giver would invest in you. But whatever it is, at every point in time, please learn the lessons because it prepares you better for the next opportunity. Actually, I know Chika, when she started, I think that was a Startup Nigeria. She was so passionate about what she was doing. I happened to be one of her, okay, so I think I happened to be her coach. Let me not say one of her. So it was watching her. It was interesting watching her passion and everything. One very key thing I've learned, if you're very passionate about what you're doing, and then you see market opportunity and the market is responding, you are likely to go further because you don't mind the time you put in, the effort you put in, you're willing to learn. So let it not just be about the money for you. You have to do the work first. You have to do the market analysis first. You have to do all of those things to prepare you to get the bigger money you want to scale that business. So next, now I'm just going to go to the questions. I see some questions in the comment section. So here, we have Moravik Agadi said, what I see here is a form of serial business ventures. By this, I mean focusing on one new idea after another. There must have been some challenges in creating awareness about the new ideas. How did you advertise at each stop or startup? How did you advertise? That's the question. Because you moved from one, you pivoted from commercial. How did you advertise? How did you, yeah.
Okay. When we first started, like I said, the idea of an online foodstuff market in Enugu it was actually the first online market in Enugu, not in Nigeria. We had the Conga and Jumia, but in Enugu, it was the first time they were hearing that. So part of the labor to success ratio I was talking was that we spent the little we had trying to sensitize people about what we are doing, convince them on how we're supposed to work, that they can trust the process. We printed flyers, we did what do you call it? We go to churches, try to talk to them after church, put flyers in people's cars. You did WhatsApp messages to existing contacts, ask for referrals. We did all that, but the effort wasn't getting equivalent or matching rewards, right? But where we are now, the marketing we are doing today, the most of our advertising is social media, and then using posters in front of the shops that stock our products. Now, we are still in the process of getting NAFDAC certification, but it's not stopping us from making sales. There are peculiar shops that have to stock the type of product we have. So we meet them one-on-one, convince them on what we are offering, on the potential markets, why that their customers will buy this. We put our poster there so that working customers can see. It also makes it easier for the shop owner or the salesperson there to explain it for their customers when they're working. But most of the paid advertisement we've been doing currently, because of our current capacity and the money we have, is social media. Facebook, Instagram, posts as often as we can. We post catchy pictures and all that. I'm sure social media marketing is a whole different course, but that's it. And then when we can afford to, we
Yes, of
do
course.
paid adverts online. So that's been what we've been using to create awareness.
Fantastic. So they used flyers, they used them, they did word of mouth, they spoke to people, they used social media platforms, especially on Instagram. Please, have you dropped your Instagram handle here so that people will go check you out? Because
I'm doing that right away. I'm
because
doing that
sometimes
right
I go
away.
to her Instagram page and I just look at all those very sumptuous looking ofaku and all the way, she will just go and bring rice and make this whole thing, make me hungry right here, like, and that's really beautiful. So you have no choice than to keep going to her page, keep knowing what she's doing and all of that. So social media is at the disposal of everyone. It will take your time, yes, but it's worth it. Somehow, at least you can grow organically, you can reach people who are not even here. For instance, right now, we advertised again this webinar. We just put it out on social media, and here we have someone, we have Mora Vic from Chicago, we have someone from UAE, we have from Qatar, we have someone from Italy, I can see. We have some people from some of these people, there was no way, we didn't send a private message, but they saw it. So social media is a big tool for advertising, even for market research, because especially in this COVID time when everybody is locked at home, so most people are on social media, even if you never liked it, you just find yourself using it. So it's a good platform for you to use. So she has just dropped her Instagram handle, Aquata Foods. So if you click on that, you follow through. Someone said, can I ask you a question and make it brief? Okay. Okay, Nwara, go ahead. Please ask briefly.
Yeah, you actually answered the question already.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of rephrase that question real quick and ask it. So because the advertising aspect, I think, is really, really important in a business like this, and because you keep switching, like adjusting the business, so people should know that this is what you're doing now, because some are getting used to what you're doing before. So there must be some intents, in advertising to carry your clients and your public along. So that's it. And I just want to say thank you. It was really a worthwhile session with you guys. Thank you for what you're doing. I'm so proud of our youth in Africa, in Nigeria, especially. We really need to do more to encourage our young people. but you're actually motivating us too. So thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you. Please don't tell.
Yeah.
Are you signing up yet? If you're signing up, make sure you send your link. We want to stay connected with you after this. Okay, so you can private chat me your email address or something. Okay. Okay. So thank you. So the next question someone asked is this: Chika, what was your push? I know it must have been. There must have been a time you wanted to quit. That's Abraman Alpha. He said, "What was your motivation?" There would have been some
Oh yes.
challenges. Were
Oh
there some
yes.
challenges? We're assuming there were. Were there some
Yes.
challenges?
Yes. Yes. Oh,
So,
ah. We are in Nigeria now. Yes, yes, yes. There have been a whole lot of challenges. I won't say that cash trap. I mean, you're looking at, that if I have this amount of money, I can do this. Or at the point where we started taking on, where I started taking on, like you projected it to move for the month and all that. But my push has been when I look at the potential, the future. If you are in Nigeria, let me give you an example. The population of Nigeria is estimated at over 200 million people. This is 200 million potential buyers, potential market for you. Now, even if you're catering to 0.1% of these 200 million people, you are making millions in annual turnover. So whatever business you're going into, if you believe in the potential of this thing, what you just have to convince yourself every day is to stay the time. Don't one of the things that discourage the youths or people with startups is in the first year, second year, they are not where they thought they would be, and they get discouraged. Or maybe you look at some other person's progress, the person beside you bought a car or did this, and then you're feeling like what you are doing is not it. It's not this that will give me the money, and then you change your mind, and then you drop what you are doing. No, if you chose the business idea, put it through a proper, there's the appraisal stage, design and development, you are sure of the future. Like the big picture, you stay today and you look at it. Okay, if I can develop this product, in my own case, if I can get it NAFDAC certified, if I can have it in shops across Nigeria, judging from the money I'm making now from the few sales I'm making, if I can multiply this scale to this amount, how much money would this give? Would this satisfy actually my money goals, like the target I want to get? And then if you are sure of this, if it means writing it on a cardboard and pasting it in front of your bed so that you're looking at it every time, do that. It is the best motivation. The future, the potential in your idea. Don't lose sight of it because of what you're experiencing today. Don't lose sight of it. Keep your eye on the end mark, where you want to go to the finish line per se. If you look at the millionaires in Dangote, everybody talks about Dangote. Dangote is in consumer goods. Dangote is the money is coming, well, yes, basically from the products we and I consume every day. So one of the things Nigeria has is the population. If you are catering or targeting this population, even if it's 1% of this, you can't afford to give up because you are having challenges today. Stay the time, wait it out, suffer it, encourage yourself. If you get sober, close your eyes and imagine you're already making the money and you'll be just fine. I think
good.
that's what I'll say to that.
Good, fantastic. Thank you so much. So keep what your motivating factor should be the end goal, right? No matter how bad
Yes.
it gets, how tough it gets, please remember start with the end in mind. I think that's it. Start with the end in mind. That will keep, how big you want to grow that business, you want multinational business you want to build. Let that be your reason. Let that be your push. Let that be the reason you would wake up. Of course, some days you feel really, really low. Hey, it's okay. Go sleep that day. Sleep, relax. Don't beat yourself too much. Some days are like that. Even the billionaires today, they also have such moments. They also encounter such, maybe hit a rock at some point. They just relax and then re-strategize, okay? So giving up is not the option. Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. Okay, that's it. So now back to the question here. Now we are talking about Aquata food paste, but I know as well, at least from what I've seen, you also have some other products under the Aquata brand, right?
Yes, we do.
Can you tell us a little about them? How did they come about?
Okay. Is one of the things I learned, in the course of the business. Without the NAFDAC certification, there was a limit to how far we could go, right? But I wanted to make more money at the stage where we are. This is one reason why. Another one is, if you look at choosing viable product ideas, if we are, the problem, actually, how do you find a business idea? One of the points you will learn there is complementary products. It's a very good way of finding good ideas. Now, I wanted to make more sales at the level where we are. And I found out that this my paste is cooked with some of this, there are spices that are peculiar to them, used to make them. And I thought, okay, and what you find in the market, there's a gap. One of them, what you find in the market is not processed. If you get it, you have to still have to blend it, and then there's the issue of adulterated ones. So, and I say, okay, there's a niche. Let's bring in our own under the brand. Since the brand Aquata Foods is already accepted by these our customers, let's add complementary products, other things we know they need to do this under the same brand. The brand they trust, their brand that sells wholly organic products, the brand that sells unadulterated products, so that's what we now did. And then it's products that they need for the paste. So as they are buying the paste, they will buy this other one. So we increased our sales at the level where we are at by adding complementary product. That's why we brought on the spices.
Fantastic. So that is like another way for you to find a business idea. Could simply be for you to find a complementary product or service to some already existing business, or some business that is already thriving out there. If there's something
whether it's just for another person's own.
Yes, it could be another person's business. Yes. So if you're looking for a business idea, how to validate the business idea, find a viable business idea, look for another way is to look for a business that is already thriving, but requires something that makes it work better, or that complements it. Something that if somebody buys that other product or service, the person must have to buy this one to make it work, or to make it maximize the efficiency.
Exactly.
That could be another way that you can find a viable business idea, whomever that is watching us in this session. So we're actually coming to the end of the session. I know we didn't start exactly at 6, so we have 10 more minutes and we'll be wrapping up. We'll be wrapping up the session soon. So let me ask you now, before we talk about your book, what was your market penetration strategy? How did you start? Because I know at first, I can imagine maybe the effort you were putting in, the stress you were undertaking, you were not making enough profit to justify to cover all of that. What was your market penetration strategy? How did you, your penetration, your expansion? Because I see some people are in Abuja, they are getting Aquata Foods, but before it was supposed to be for people in some part of Enugu. Now so tell us, how has it been? How have you been doing it?
Okay, it's like when I talked about our advertising strategy, is really what we used. Now, the bigger picture, the main strategy, we are yet to actually implement, because our product is not fully ready for the big market because of NAFDAC certification.
Okay.
Because that is being delayed because of the nature of our product. There are some tests they want to run on it, but the full strategy depends on the type. Strategy depends on the product you have, who your target market is, where they are. There's something they call customer avatar. If you have a clear picture of who you are targeting, who would use your products, right? So what you now need to do is find a way to reach these people. Mm-hmm. Consumer packaged goods, like our product falls under, are usually the products that the average person is food. Average person consumes on a daily basis or needs. So now either they are going to the market to buy these things, or they are going to the open market or the supermarkets, that you know where they are. And then the people you're targeting, part of our customers or majority are mothers, homes. Where can they be found? Sometimes it might be a group, it might be a meeting, it might be. What I'm trying to say is the main strategy when we started and at this stage is finding where our target customers are and how to get across to them. If they are on social media, let's say you have a product, an IT product, and it's for students or for the youth or something. Now, you know that most of the time you find them on social media. You know the page they follow. You know what they are targeting, what their interests are. Now, if you're doing an ad, you have to now target them so that it comes in front of their screen as they're scrolling. So the main strategy or the overall umbrella is be clear about who you're targeting. Find out where to reach them and how to reach them, and then start with that. The bigger picture for us is in the supermarkets. You're walking in there to ShopRite or Spar, you should be able to see our products there on the shelves as you are shopping for other food items in that section. Does that answer it?
Of course. Of course, fantastic. So that's it. That picture now is sometimes someday in the future you walk into not just ShopRite in Nigeria, but every part of Africa or the world, or maybe even Walmart in the US, or what are the big supermarkets wherever anybody signing. Yes, so you walk in there and you see a quarter food product there. That is the big goal, and that's actually what she and her team are working towards achieving. So, but this takes various steps. Okay, it takes setting the big goal, then setting short-term strategy, and then baby steps to achieve all of that. Because if you just look at the big goal, you'll be overwhelmed. But if you don't have a big goal, then you move without direction. So you need a big goal to keep you focused. Then you need the 5-year strategy, 3-year strategy, then 1-year plan, 6 months, every month, weekly timelines. You need all of that. If you have all of that, that way you can measure your progress. You can measure if you're making progress. You can see what is working. Like you see what your key progress indicators are and see what's working. Like when I met Chika, the first time I saw the aquata food product, he was there's this plastic pack we call takeaway pack, and then he just had a label on it. But just a few months down the line, I saw this fine, beautifully packaged product, and that was now the aquata food paste. So that is progress, okay? That is progress. So if you're looking for when you have it all fine before you start, then you're not likely to start. You just need to start from what you can afford, what is doable at the time. That's why they call it the minimum viable product. And then we know that there is room for progress. Even Coca-Cola, the bottle, the shape of bottle we know today was not the shape we know like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 1980s. So every company evolves, no matter how big they are. They keep changing, So don't wait to be perfect, because you can never really get it perfect. You see that you continue to develop, you continue to change, and you continue to improve. So Chika, now somebody asked a question saying, did you ever think of giving up, as in, did you ever regret leaving banking industry? Have you got to that point that you say, oh, I wish I never left the bank?
Okay. Hello, Chuma, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now that's a very interesting question. In all honesty, there were days when when I left the bank, my monthly salary was more than 300,000. Let's leave it at that and forget about all the other benefits and everything that come. Now, I made up my mind it was going to be a tough few years, probably 1 year or two. In my mind, I had it all planned out on how I'm going to blow after 1 year or 2 years. When it wasn't now coming. So there were really moments where I thought about, what should I leave this thing and go back to the one I'm sure of and be collecting the pay? But like I said earlier, the bigger picture, there was a reason why I left. Actually, Guarantee Trust Bank, I got an offer to come back twice. Hello? I got an offer to come back to the bank twice. I got a mail that they're recruiting old staff. If I'm interested in going back, I told them no that I not or told me I felt she was looking at my account balances and being like, is this girl not suffering like this? And she called me again, Chika, you know they are taking back old staff. Are you sure you don't want to come back to the system? I told her, Ma, I know things are not yet where they are, but there are also some experiences I've garnered in these few years that I wouldn't trade for anything. I was getting better at the business. I was learning things. The picture was even clearer than it was when I left the bank. The dream, it
Yeah.
was so.
Of course.
I had to, forget the um, short-term benefits and look at the bigger picture. I mean, my target, what I will eventually be making in a month, GT Bank won't pay me that, even if I stay 10 years in the system.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah.
belief. This is what I tell myself. So
Yes.
that's it. That's what I remind myself about. I remind myself of this as often as I can. And then again, I'm having fun doing this. When you see your product out there, you see people's feedback, reviews. You have a product that people tell you they paid for it and they tell you, thank you for thinking about this.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. I mean, what's more fulfilling than hearing something like this? So I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing, and that's why I'm still here. I'm not going back.
Good. And of course, it can only get better. So somebody asked, can you share with us about the use of social media before the pandemic? If gain was there before. Okay, this one is to gain. If gain was there before, I wonder how more people were being brought together. Okay, so Claudia, of course, gain was on social media, but before the pandemic, we were not doing programs on social media. We were doing more physical programs. But of course, we had to pivot with the pandemic. We had to move with the trend. And so that's why we started social media engagement. And it has come to stay. So even after the pandemic, we're still going to be having programs online and offline as well. I think I've answered that one quickly. And so, Chika, now before we wrap up this session, I want you to tell us about this fantastic book you've just released, right? And so tell us about this book. Tell us about this book. Tell us about this book briefly. Don't tell us everything inside the book, because we need to buy the book. So tell us about the book briefly. So how can we get it? I mean, that kind of information. Yeah. The title
definitely,
of the
definitely. They have to buy. They have to buy. Somebody has to buy. Okay. Okay. The book, just like you said, during the pandemic, how gain evolved. I had more time on my hands during the pandemic, and I thought maybe the questions that I've been answering people, let me package it together. And they say, the in thing now, they say monetize your knowledge. So I just decided to put it together and actually make some money from it. But the price or the cost of it does not match the
content
inside. Yes, the title of the book is How to Turn Your Product Idea into a Successful Business. It takes you through ideation, ideation. How do you find an idea? How do you fine tune an idea to the development stage and actually getting the product to market? It's very detailed and a very good read, a very good guide for beginners, especially if you want to enter into consumer packaged goods. Yes, that's it.
Fantastic. So what will happen is that you're going to just drop a link or your email or whatever they can reach you with, so that anybody that's interested in getting the book or getting a link to the book would contact you later. Drop a link, maybe is it your social media handle or your email, or the best way they can reach you, or WhatsApp. So anybody that's interested can get to you. So does anybody have any more question because I've said before we wrap up this session many times. So we're just going to be wrapping up this session right now. Does anybody have any more question? I think I've taken all the questions in the comment section. How was Nigerian economy towards an enabling environment in doing business? Is it favorable or not? Brother, Abdurrahman Alpha, the Nigerian economy, it's a work in progress, okay? So enabling environment in Nigeria is still a work in progress. Some things get better, some, I don't know, they're not good yet. So it's a work in progress. It's not perfect yet. It's actually not perfect in any African country right now. So it's a work in progress, okay? So that's it. I think I've answered that one. Can I ask, okay? Yeah. So I think we've answered all the questions. So does anybody want to make a comment? Do you want to say something before we wrap up this session? If you want to say something, hello, can we see your hand? Raise your hand, and we unmute you. Okay, all right, Abuchi, Agu, all right, go ahead.
Miss Chika, I must say, I've listened
Where are
to
you
you.
speaking from? Okay, from Dubai, you said, yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to you, and I must say it's quite commendable and very challenging at the same time. I must tell you. I, for one, I'm a startup, and I tried the first time. Unfortunately, somebody stole my idea, and it's it's a very difficult situation out there. The market is actually tougher than just mere words can say. Sometimes 100 words cannot actually describe the challenges people face in starting up businesses. I want to believe Chinwe can also attest to that. And the challenges you've gone through, frankly, I'm in it right now, but I'm not backing down. So hopefully, maybe one day I'll also come on this platform and share my own story. And I must commend you.
Look forward to having you.
I must commend you. It's not easy,
you.
especially in the food processing industry. Frankly, it's a very challenging one and very tough as at that. Considering all the markets you have in Enugu, what are their names? The ones at Holy Ghost and all those.
Market.
Exactly. so I can understand the challenges you're facing. But whatever it is, I give you the thumbs
Thank
up.
you so much.
It's a thumbs up from here. Kudos.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we look forward to having you on the program one of the days. So thank you so much. Does anyone have any other thing to say? Any other comments before we wrap up? Any other comments? Any other comments? Who wants to say something? Raise your hand. Okay, there's 124. This is your name. Is that your name? 12460. Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you. 124609. That's your name. You raised your hand. 124609. That's your name. You're raising your hand. Can you unmute?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, my name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
I said my name is Emmanuel. Yes. I just want to join the last speaker to commend Chika for the beautiful, I don't know what job he's doing. You know, it's not easy, really. It's not. So it's just to give him moral support, my own moral support, and to tell her to continue.
Thank you so much.
We have her back. Kudos, Chika. Kudos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's so interesting. Thank you. Does anybody want to say anything? We take one more comment and then we wrap it up. Does anybody want to say anything? Any other person? Any other person? Okay. Okay, so I think there's no other person that wants. Okay, somebody wants to say something. Okay, Ike Media, go ahead.
Yeah, hello, Chika. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
I just want to say thank you so much. I am actually also inspired by the story. I'm so motivated this evening now.
Thank you.
Glad to hear that.
I actually have a startup too. I'm working on. So with the story now, I think I will add more force and more fire to what I'm doing now. So I'm inspired. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Someone like you could, if you could leave a job, if you could leave a job that's paying you up to 100,000 naira in Nigeria, I know what it is. And then going for your dreams or something you actually have passion for. I'm so much happy about that. So it's also encouraging to me too. Thank you so much.
That's so
Great.
good to hear. That's so good to hear. Thank you.
Great. Don't Reach, you unmuted. You want to say something? Hey, Don't Reach. Everybody, we have a Reverend Father in the building, all the way from, Father, where are you? Italy. Italy, right?
I'm from Italy, yes.
Wow. Thank you for joining the session.
Thank you. I just want to join my colleagues to thank you people for the courage. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see the youth when the youth are really thinking ahead, because our problem is we think of the immediate. So it is something good to see ourselves thinking ahead. I'm happy about it.
Thank you so much.
Then one of the challenges from my own perspective, I've thought severally of enacting a business, something that can help people to find something to eat. But the problem is, whom do you trust?
That one's
I've been in discussions with several persons on how to enter into something that can offer employment to some people and also have a hobby. Though I'm in Italy, I'm not going to die here. I'll come back to Nigeria to develop a hobby that I can use where I will take care of myself when I get older, because I'm old already. So the problem is getting someone you trust and someone who is focused. That's why I made every effort to join this group this evening to see what our youths have and what people are able to offer. So I thank so much, Chika, for this, for your efforts. I heard so much about what you are doing at Enugu. That's very good. It's encouraging. Maybe in my next visit, I will make effort to patronize you.
Thank you. That's business right
All
there.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Father.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, Chika, thank you so much. You see, everyone found value. So you gave value to Italy, to the US, to Dubai, to Qatar, to Nigeria, to Rwanda. We have Claudia that joined from Rwanda. We have someone that joined from South Sudan. We have someone from Sudan as well. We have people from all over. So this is Chika giving value to the world. So Chika, right now, we are bringing this session to a close.
Thank you so much, Tiwa, for the opportunity.
So please, what is your final advice? What do you have for any entrepreneur, any young person aspiring to venture into entrepreneurship? What are your final words to them?
Okay. What our advice is this: don't feel overwhelmed with the circumstances or the situation we find ourselves in here in Nigeria. Truth be told, is not peculiar to Nigeria, is in the whole world. The economy is not stable, things are not favorable, but look around you. You can start something. They said finding a good business idea. It could be, and when I say a problem, it doesn't have to be a disease or that you have, or you know somebody's have, or you have an idea of how to make something work better. You know, we talked about complementary products. There's also supplementary product is also a very good way to find an idea. It can also be a trend. See what happened with COVID-19. People started sewing masks. New levels of businesses were created because people were shut down inside. Businesses went online. Some service providers made more money. So the truth is, if you look around you and you have a willing and open mind, you will find something that you can eat from. And then if you keep at it for as long as possible, you will not only eat from it, you will feed people from it. You would motivate other people. You would influence your society, your immediate environment. You will get fame and the money from just looking around you and helping yourself. You can help yourself. You can help yourself.
Of course.
I think that's it.
Of course. Of course. Thank you so much, Chika. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that last final advice. You can help yourself no matter how bad you think situation is, no matter how tough you think the country is. I tell you, it's not easier anywhere else, okay? And if you can survive in Africa, you can survive anywhere else. That's the point. So just look around you. Where you see problems, those are actually potential business opportunities, okay? Thank you, everyone that has joined. So let me just make a few final announcements before we end the session. So Grow with Gain is a program we do every month. So stay with us, follow us on social media. I've just dropped the link. There's a link I dropped. Connect with us through that link. Once you click on that link, you see link to everything that concerns us. Link to all our social media handles, link to even if you want to speak on this program or you know someone that we should bring on Grow with Gain program, you will see a form to nominate the person. If you want to join Grand Africa as a volunteer, you see the link there. If you want to become a GAIN ambassador in your campus, because we have ambassadors in different campuses, please join through that link. You will see the link to become a GAIN campus ambassador. If you want to become the country rep in your country, join through that link. So that link contains everything about Grand Africa Initiative. If you want to register for our programs that like Grow with Gain, so you get the notification, the link is there. You want to join our Telegram channel, the link is there. So everything about Gain, you find it there. You want to join our Facebook group, the link is also there. Just that one link houses the link to everything about Grand Africa Initiative. So click on that link, join us so that you will not miss out on your growth, because it's all about Grand Africa Initiative is all about your growth. We believe that when we have young people all over Africa achieving their potential, then we have the kind of Africa we all want, okay? And it starts with you, it starts with me, it starts with all of us taking action. And now, every last Friday of the month, we have a program we call A Date with Gain Mentors. Okay, so the next one is coming up on the 25th of this month. That is the last Friday of September. Please keep this date with us. If you click on that link, you will see the link to register for A Date with Gain Mentors. So we will send you the login detail for that session. And I promise you, anytime you come on our program, anytime you join our session, you must live better than you came. You must learn something new. You would, and again, our platforms actually link you up to people from different places. Whenever you come online, please don't leave the same way you came. Join on our page, you drop contact, you link people up on social media. That is how you grow your network. So on our Date with Gain Mentors coming up next, I don't want to announce the mentor so far, but he's an exciting person, and we're already looking forward to hanging out with the mentor. So please sign up, follow us on all social media handles, tag people who should be linked with Grand Africa Initiative, young people you know, young Africans you know who are everywhere and anywhere. Let them link up with Grand Africa Initiative. You'll be doing them a lot of favor by doing that, okay? So with this, we are coming to the end of this session. Thank you everyone that has joined from Nigeria, Rwanda, Qatar, Dubai, Italy, US, where again, Sudan, South Sudan. Thank you to all the campus ambassadors that are in the building. I could see Sabo Salim, you're here. I'm proud to be a GAIN ambassador. Of course, we are proud to have you as well. So all our ambassadors, all our country reps, our regional directors who signed in, thank you all for joining. The GAIN team, Ike is here, Val is here. These are all powerful team members that I have who make things happen from the back office. Thank you so much for your support. We're always proud to have you, Chinemerem, and every other team member who joined the session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And so with this, we are coming to the end of this session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And from me to you, Chika, thank you. Thank you for this session. Of course, I wasn't expecting anything less. So thank you, and keep impacting our world, keep growing bigger, keep being the inspiration that we need. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. We can hear you if you were saying something, yeah.
Bye.
All right, bye. Father, bye-bye. Kinsley Ebuka, bye-bye. Nkechi Ayin Okonkwo, bye-bye. Zara, bye-bye. Everyone, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.